Now, the key determining factor in development of one's relationship and even developing yourselves in a relationship is the ability to learn. It is also instrumental in the workplace, in personal life, whatever position you find yourselves in. We have seen time and again that not only does a reluctance to learn block success, but the failure to address interpersonal deficiencies can be career limiting. So sometimes the issue as to why people don't grow in their place of work, in their line of work, is because they don't know how to deal with the interpersonal matters. It's not because they're technically incompetent. Okay, they're probably the best skilled person out there. They have all the technical skills, but it's not because of that. Okay, it's probably because they don't know how to deal with people very well. Now, individual learning and relational learning are often interlaced. Okay, and feedback is perhaps the more common forum as to where relational learning can really happen. Receiving feedback from another furthers your development since you learn what you do well and what you can do better. So why would anyone resist hearing it? You might ask yourself. Okay. Some of that is because of our own assumptions about ourselves. Okay. Or assumptions about the other person giving the feedback. Okay. Uh, yeah, you might learn a few things, but if you're fixated with your own mental models, okay, that may not really be helpful for you in the future. Now, consider again whether there is something in you that blocks your learning. Okay, is it because you hold to a certain image about yourself, or is it because that feedback actually impacts your image? Okay, or does accepting feedback mean that you're a failure and that you don't like to be accepting of the fact that you're a failure, that you're a loser? Okay, yeah, we often hear a lot of people say, "I love to learn. I really like to learn," but oftentimes you see them, they're not learning. So what is it? What's holding them back? Well, maybe there's something there. And once you start understanding what's holding you back and addressing what's holding you back, that's the only time that you really start to learn. Okay. Accepting the validity of someone's feedback also doesn't mean that you have to act on it immediately, right? You don't have to do the feedback right away. Definitely, if you really want to grow, you'll have to do it. Okay. And sometimes it's not even physically possible to do it then and there. Okay. Feedback is information. It's information for you to decide what to do with. It's data. Okay. And it's actually expanding your choices. It helps you broaden your perspective. Okay. Now, in cases of correction, sometimes the feedback is the only option. Okay. There are those moments. But if the feedback doesn't really give anything that is perhaps tantamount to a serious correction, then it actually broadens your perspective. Okay. You don't have to do it now, but you can do it later. Okay. It might be that someone suggests that you change certain assumptions, behaviors. Okay. But I mean, not all of that needs to be done right away. Don't feel compelled or forced to do everything what the feedback giver is telling you what to do. Now, one option is to start small. Don't do everything. Definitely, if you have a lot of issues to address, don't do everything at the same time. Okay. Start experimenting a few things, then observe. See how it goes. Okay. And then you calibrate. If this doesn't work well for the other person, then okay, step back. If it moves forward, then okay, there's a lot of going on into that. Okay. Now, and some part of it means that you really have to go out of your comfort zone. Okay. Now, but these things we have to learn and appreciate that feedback is information. Okay. Don't feel compelled to do things, but make sure that when you start to do them, you own them. We've said many times that feedback is a gift, but just because someone gives you a gift doesn't mean that you're required to use it and use it right away. This may not be the best time to take any action. Okay. Seeing feedback as data that informs and expand our choices makes it easier for us to hear and consider them.